They walk without legs, smell with their tongues, are very tiny, or frighteningly huge. They represent faraway wild places, and they live right here in New York. Welcome to the world of reptiles at the Bronx Zoo. Inside these historic walls, the reptile house is over a century old. You'll find nearly 1,000 reptiles and amphibians. It's the largest group of these animals in the country, and this is one of the most amazing places in the city. We spent a whole day behind the scenes at the world of reptiles, a day as diverse as the critters that live here. Most of us are fascinated with snakes, lizards, crocs, and frogs. But the keepers here are, well, possessed with dedication to their charges. These men and women are warm-hearted for all things cold-blooded. The Reptile House staff is a dedicated bunch and a close-knit group. They eat breakfast together every day, then head off to feed the animals their breakfast.
Today's Thursday, and I feed crickets out to my amphibians. So I'm collecting their food for the morning. So I just shake them off right into the bag. It's the highlight of their day. This exhibit features northeastern amphibians. And so we have an American toad, some wood frogs, gray tree frogs. I just have to be very careful for them not to jump out. But they're pretty used to the routine right now, and they stay toward the back of the exhibit.
Right now, how many of us have this on our to-do list? Weigh giant snake. The snake is Samantha, and the task at hand, weighing and measuring the big girl, only takes place every 2 to 3 years.
Samantha is one of our prized exhibit animals here. She's a reticulated python that we acquired in 1993. She's one of the largest, if not the largest, snakes in the United States right now.
Samantha was captured in 1992 by hide hunters who were collecting large snakes for the exotic leather industry, and they were so impressed with Samantha's size they thought surely there must be a better end for Samantha than a handbag. Quite honestly, we believe these giants are largely gone. So Samantha is really a special snake. She's about 26 feet in length. We believe she's the largest snake in captivity, and she certainly is an ambassador for her kind.
We want to get her head to the door so we can get her out. Because she'll wrap around one of those trees or something and we'll never get her out. Come on, Sammy. Even a snake this big would rather get away from us than try to hurt us. Most of the times when snakes attack people, it's usually a mistake. They think they're food.
With an animal this big and this powerful, a routine weigh-in becomes an all-hands-on snake project.
It's not a predictable thing. I mean, we have basic roles laid out, but you got to kind of go with the moment. Somebody grabs the head, and then that's when all hell breaks loose, and you just grab a piece of snake as fast as you can and get it out of the cage as quickly as possible. Her tendency will be to pull her body towards whoever is holding the head and try to wrap around them. So then the people have to line up and grab a piece of snake as it comes out the door and keep walking it out. Try to keep it straight. You don't want it to bunch up and get around people.
Every several years we like to remove Samantha from her enclosure and give her a checkup, look at her oral cavity, take a blood sample. We believe she may be ovulating. The blood test will show this.
And we do this because we don't get our hands on very often, and if the only time we're handling an animal is when they're ill, we get a very skewed feeling for what their blood work is like.
I was tense because I didn't want her to think that I was, because they sense when you let off. Like if she felt that I wasn't holding her, then she would have made a move. So I wanted to make sure she knew she was restrained, but I was trying not to strangle her too much.
So we, as carefully as possible, removed her from the enclosure and stretched her out, measured her, and weighed her, and then replaced her back into the enclosure.
You want on 3? 1, 2, 3. Yep. That went smoothly. The weight was the heaviest she's been, which surprised me because she didn't look any heavier to me than normal. But we're only talking about 20 pounds out of 270, so it's not real obvious sometimes.
I think the worst part is kneeling all that time, squatting on the snake.
Your knees start to hurt.
My legs are shaking and my hands are shaking right now.
It went about as well as expected, and no one was bitten, so there were no casualties, either for our serpent friends or our warm-blooded keepers.
When we come back, more scales and tails than you can shake a stick at. Next on Metro TV's Unblinking Eye. Food fuels everybody at the Bronx Zoo's Reptile House, where eating takes on a whole new meaning. There's no such thing as snake chow mein for animals that prefer their food au natural. It's whole rats, mice, crickets, and such on this daily menu, and the keepers make sure everyone gets their favorite treats.
There's never a pair of large gloves around here for some reason. Take one for the girl and one for the boy. Although, see these gloves? Look at this. It's because we have so many females working in here. They don't make any gloves, man-size gloves. Attaboy, come here, handsome. You hungry, pal? There you go. And he usually takes a big gulp of water after he swallows it. They could eat 8, 10, 12 rats at a time, easy.
It's not all about preparing culinary delights in the world of reptiles. There's a lot of dirty work that needs to be done, too. Quick tip, remove dangerous snake first, then clean out the tank.
These snakes are very unique because they're spitting cobras. They can spit up to 8 feet away the venom from their fangs. Their fangs are designed differently than most venomous snakes. Most venomous snakes' fangs are like needles, and at the bottom are the holes that they use to inject the venom. Spitting cobras have holes in the front of their teeth, so they compress their venom glands and shoot the venom in your eyes. It won't kill you or anything, but it hurts really bad, and that gives the snake enough time to get away. So I always wear these goggles when I work with these snakes. They're so used to me working with them that they haven't spit at me in a long, long time. So when I work with these snakes, you guys probably should stand at least 8 feet away. They're a little bit uppity. I use the trash can lid as a shield sometimes. All right, you better stand back, buddy. This guy's being around me. Okay. And that's it. Everybody's safe. Snake's in the barrel. And now I could clean out the duty.
From high maintenance to high tech, senior keeper Sam Lee uses tracking devices to help him identify these tentacled water snakes.
I'm going to transponder some water snakes since they look very similar to each other, so we have some photo identification to tell them apart, but this is really the best way of finding out which animal is which animal because of the special alphanumeric code that we get here. Alright, so I'm going to put these herpeton or tentacled water snakes into their new exhibit. This female, I can feel lumps in here, so she might be holding some babies inside, and that's the little lump where I just inserted the transponders.
At the Wildlife Conservation Society's Bronx Zoo, dedication to all creatures great and small means that the staff often go beyond, way beyond the world of reptiles to help a species. A little toad in Tanzania needed a helping hand recently, and the zoo was there. You don't have to be big to warrant a multinational rescue mission. In fact, being the size of a thumbnail is just fine, if you happen to be a toad. Meet the Nectophrenoides asperingus, commonly known as the Kahansi spray toad, a species found only in the Kahansi Gorge in Tanzania, East Africa. The spray toad leapt to center stage after the Lower Kahansi hydropower project was launched, a collaborative effort between the World Bank, the Tanzanian government, Sweden, Norway, and Germany. When the river became diverted, water levels dropped dramatically, causing the spray to disappear, and with it, the toad's habitat. An artificial spray system was established, but it was part of a larger plan. The government of Tanzania approached the Wildlife Conservation Society.
Our mission for the spray toads was to provide an assurance population, the assurance that this species, relatively unknown, wouldn't become extinct.
500 individual toads were to be collected for a captive breeding program led by the Bronx Zoo and reintroduced when the habitat is restored to a reasonable condition. 28-year-old zookeeper Jason Searle volunteered to lead the rescue mission.
I was very excited. I mean, the opportunity in the future to travel to Tanzania and work on a project of such importance, of course, is any zookeeper's dream.
Where are you going to now? We're going to the Kahansi Gorge, start of our mission.
What if we collect these animals, pack them in their shipping containers all alive, ship them over to the States, and then they arrive all dead?
Jason traveled from New York City to the city of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, where he met Tanzanian government officials and Wildlife Conservation Society zoologist Tim Davenport.
Ideally, we will be able to get a breeding colony going back in the States, and in an ideal world they will breed successfully and we'll be able to reintroduce them.
The group camped in the gorge for 5 nights.
Our first tent, we got it up.
By day, they navigated their way across dangerous ravines and scaled vertical cliff faces. They did not stop until a healthy population of spray toads had been safely packed away in plastic bags and containers. With the collecting complete, Jason prepared for the long flight back to New York City and the Bronx Zoo.
Just sat worried the whole time. You know, I stared out the window and I thought of all the good things that could happen, all the bad things can happen, and I just hoped and wished as hard as I could that things would turn out for the best.
I'm nervous. We're going to open this up and see how they're doing, so the moment of truth is here.
When we finally made it there and these inspectors opened up the boxes, it's showtime.
Oh, yes.
Yes. The whole 14 months that we were working on this project, it was worth it. These guys made it.
The toads were then transported to the Bronx Zoo, where they were placed in quarantine.
Getting through the hurdle of the first generation and raising them to adulthood and reproduction is our immediate mission.
Until the future of the Kahansi spray toad is secured and their habitat is restored, this new species has found a home with the Wildlife Conservation Society.
All the animals do belong to the government of Tanzania. If there's ever a time in the future where the government feels as though they have the necessary means to conduct this program, they can take the animals back. And that's great with us. I mean, that would be fantastic. Yeah.